The number one prop firm space has a contender. And previously in all of my videos, I always kept saying that FTMO was the number one prop firm in this space. And the reason is because they paid me out $200,000, up to nearly $200,000, and I have no qualms, no issues, no nothing. But there has been one prop firm that has constantly come up on my feed. That was social media, and they kept coming up. People were getting payouts fast within 24 hours. Then they launched a futures firm, and they're just all over my social media. Then the next thing, within my own community, I had someone join and get funded within 2 weeks with this prop firm as well. And not only is this the case, I went on to look at the statistics in terms of revenue and also in terms of payouts and also in terms of traffic. They have potentially overtaken FTMO. Now that's 1 month, but it doesn't really give them enough to say we are better than them all the time. But if they continue on this consistency, they will be the number one prop firm in the space, which is crazy because back in the day it was my Forex funds, but then they had this whole issue, TFT, unstable. But this firm looks absolutely serious as a contender, and the craziest thing about this is they are just getting started. So the prop firm is FundingPips. Now, it has been long overdue for me to make a video about this company, but long story short is I've never really traded with them. I think I just had my hands full, and it wasn't a company that I had massively on my list. And then I think where really and truly the time was I was getting funded with all of these funding companies, and the top 3 that were constantly paying me out and the other 3 weren't, I didn't really have put FundingPips into it because I just haven't had my personal experience. But the one thing that changed me was my own couple of students have had multiple payouts from them. And more importantly as well, Michael, who makes a lot of the short form content, he's a very close brother of mine, is a huge fan of FundingPips, and it's just been constantly coming up. And where it really finalized and solidified and sat on my kind of seat is when I started looking into futures. As you may or may not know, I did $194,000 and in a day, and I've got paid out $100K or $91,000 from FTMO alone within 30 days. And I'm looking to scale, so I'm looking for reliable prop firms, which is probably why you're watching this video. And FundingPips and FundingTips is on the case, and I've been looking at them, and I have actually now tried it. So in this video, we are going to be doing a prop firm review, which is adding on to the prop firm series, and we're going to be going through the 5 pillars of all of our prop firm review videos, which is number 1, a complete profile breakdown, a little bit about the company. Number 2, then it goes into the challenges about the company. Then the second point, we're going to go through some pros and then cons. Number 3, my experience with the prop firm as an overall. Number 4, should you get funded with them? And number 5, my final thoughts on the company. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is happening, guys? My name is Dan Chung, aka Champ, and I have been up to 2.5 million funded, currently 1.5 at this current date, and did 7 figures in the market, bringing you a prop firm review so you can decide from this information, my experience, if it's something that's right for you. And we've got reviews off of loads of different prop firms, so you can go and check them out. Now, we're using this website which we've built for called Funded Prop Traders, a prop firm review company that we're working towards, and we are doing huge amount of giveaways. We've got prop firm reviews, futures, Forex, crypto. We've also got EAs, we've got education, we're going to have a game on there. We've got so much coming on this review website. So when you do buy your challenges, please use the code FBT or use code WChampFX, depending on what company you are looking for, and it would really massively support us. So let's get started. So as you come onto FBT, these are all the companies that are links, and if we go on to FundingPips right here, we can see a little bit about the information. So to start off with about the company profile is that FundingPips, this is a little bit of a statement, which is what they've got, is they believe that traders should go through multiple levels in their careers, student to practitioner to master, which is what they call like the funded trader and their series. And then they've built these evaluation models for people to trade. Now FundingPips is their CFD, and then they've got another company called FundingTips, which is their futures, and I'll do another video about that for a futures breakdown. Their origin is in the UAE, beautiful Dubai, which you can see in the background. Their company was established in 2022, which is crazy how quick that has gone. Within 3 years, they've pretty much taken up the number 1 prop firm in the space. The CEO is Khalid Aish. The prop firm type is CFD. In terms of platforms, they have MT5, MaxTrader, and CTrader. They did have TradeLocker, but I've seen they've removed that. I don't know the reason behind that, but TradeLocker is a very popular platform. But to be honest, if you have MT5, it doesn't really matter. Leverage is 1 up to 10. Profit split, they have bi-weekly, on demand, and monthly, which sits at 60, 80, and 90. And then you've also got 100% depending on the reward cycle. And the maximum allocation you can have for that company is $300,000. They've got their Trustpilot reviews. Our FPT rating is also improving, and we will implement that. And then you've got their kind of trading breakdown. So now let's go on to the second part of the company breakdown, which is the challenges. So within funding pips, again, which we're talking about is CFDs and Forex, not funding ticks, it's different. We have three types. We have zero, which is instant funding, the master stage, and it looks like they go up to 100k in terms of account size, 5k, 10k, 25k, 50k, and 100k. And we've got one step and then two step. Now I will make another video breaking down all the challenges. It will be called Funding Pips Challenges Explained, and I'll go through all the challenges, some secret sauce, some I don't want to call them hidden rules because every firm has like rules in their FAQ. It's just people don't take time to read them, and I'll go through my experiences on everything may or may not have broken. For example, I'm restricted on a lot of firms. Funding Pips I'm actually not restricted on, which is great, but I will go through that on the challenges explained, and if you do want to find those, you can check that out after finishing this video. So I'm just going to briefly touch on their two-step. Is they've got a 8% profit target, which is great because the 8% profit target is pretty much, I think, better than the FTMO, which is FTMO is 10. They do have a 10% option, which makes the price more expensive, but 8% here is more expensive at 529. 10% makes it at 489, which is more cost effective as such to speak. Your maximum loss is 10%, 5% on the daily. Minimum trading days is 3. You've got 1 to 100. On the stage 2, it's 5%, and that's set, so you can't really toggle that. It's 5%, and then that's when you get funded and then get your funded account. The maximum account size they have is 100k, which is a bit different because a lot of firms go 200 and 300, but theirs is 100. You can just copy trade them and get 3 collectively if you really wanted to. And they've got Funding Pips Pro and then Funding Pips. The main difference is the percentages. You've got 6 and 6 as opposed to 8 and 5, and also there's a price difference as well. And then I'd say do just read everything. They don't have consistency score from what I can see, but I think on the zero, which is the instant funding, that's the only account that will have a consistency score, but they're bi-weekly at 95%. So now let's talk about the pros and cons. To be honest, I have one pro that I'm going to say which will trump every pros and cons. It is they will pay out. The thing is, they have paid out 25, like I think it was like 25 million or 20 million in a week or something. It's an insane amount of money that they pay out, and it just goes to show that they don't have a problem doing payouts, and that is the number one thing you look for within a prop firm. You don't want to see any silly excuses. I've had one denial in my whole career, and it was the silliest thing, and I just can't be bothered to create the drama from that, but it was just ridiculous. The second thing is I have 50k that was lost. It was not denied. These just companies just went insolvent years ago when MT5 created a whole market crash, and I just lost $50,000 during that time. Alongside with that, you know, Funding Pips have paid all of my students. I've never seen any of them complain. They're pretty speedy. I don't know the time frame, but I'm going to hopefully see that on the Funding Tick side. I'm more focused on Funding Ticks than I am on Pips at the moment, but I do have a Funding Pips account. It's about to be funded soon, so once I get all of my payouts, I will let you know. But from experience, from seeing other people and seeing their Twitter, which we can quickly go on to now, you can just see how much they've been paying out people. A lot of friends have been paid out up to 6 figures, and they've got a really clean Twitter as an overall. And if you do want to go check, you can see this is my trading journey. So 178 with FTMO, 20k with Funded Next, and you can just go and check that out. So really and truly, that pro overweighs pretty much any pro and con. I mean, I could do another review video to talk about the pros and cons more, but I just feel like that pro is just like FTMO. It doesn't matter. Like when you get paid, that's all we're doing for. Any restrictions, any rules they want to put on you, do it. I will just still trade as long as I can hit that realm. Now, number 3, my experience with them so far. The experience has been, I would say, pretty neutral, which is a good thing. Not a bad thing, not a good thing. I haven't had a problem. I also haven't had an amazing experience, and that's the truth of the matter. I think I think what's nice about it is it's just what I would expect with a prop firm. If I break a rule, I am breached. If I don't break a rule, I can trade and I will get paid out, and I feel comfortable with them. And I really would like to hope and see how my payouts go, which I'll be able to emphasize more on and share with you guys my experiences and overall off of the payouts that Funding Pips will give me, and more importantly Funding Ticks in the future, because I really want to scale more with the futures side as well. Now going on to the next section, which is should you get funded with them, and the answer is 100%. Now this really would sit in the top 3 of my prop firm suggestions when getting funded, which I'm going to make an updated video on. Like Funding Pips is up there, and it's insane how well they are killing it. And if it's not FTMO, Funding Pips, or Funded Next, or some other firms, it has to sit in your portfolio. Not only that as well, if you compare this to FTMO, if they do overtake them on a consistent basis, they have easier challenges, they're more innovative, they've got futures, they've got broker, they've got so many more things coming. And FTMO only has 1, and Funding Pips is potentially going to overtake the space and take on that #1 spot. And it's very interesting. Maybe this video will be the early pinnacle as Funding Pips, the #1 prop firm, and we're going to make more content on them as well, especially being in Dubai They're Dubai, we're Dubai. I like Dubai. I'm a big fan of Dubai. And going on to the final thoughts off of this video, and to summarize, is last but not least, is that prop firms are crazy. I think that Forex is a great way to start because futures is so lucrative and so kind of crazy that the numbers and to be successful at it is too easy to the point that you would not create consistency and help. Whereas if you build the foundation of CFD prop firms and then go into futures, it's definitely something that I recommend and something that I'm teaching at the moment. Alongside with that, I've basically created, ever since I lost my own 300k, I absolutely smashed it on my own trading, and having prop firms like FundingPips really gives me kind of that confidence again to trade with CFD prop firms, to trade with futures, and just really increase the scalability of my actual trading and my career, which you guys can too. Like, start off slow, just think of 50k. Think about it, if you can make 50k a 50k funded account, you make $1,000-$2,000. A company like this and the other like S tier caliber prop firms are not going to have an issue paying. Is when you start doing 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, which what I'm aiming for and what I kind of do, they try and maybe make some silly rules or silly things that to kind of do this. So that's why it's really important to do with S tier on higher payouts, lower payouts, stay with the lower firms as well, so you won't really get denied and have to deal with all the issues and waste all your time. So if you do want to get your challenge, use code WChampFX and link in the description below if you want to go and trade with FundingPips. More importantly, if you do want to learn from me and learn how to get funded, we have created a 12-month program. Also, like I said earlier, someone was funded within 2 weeks with FundingPips after learning our strategy and our course. Link in the description below to WhatsApp me and to learn more information about what that 12-month program entails. So remember to like, share and subscribe, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video. We will be doing FundingPips giveaways as well. On FPT, there is literally, at the moment of filming this video, there's $3 million worth of challenges to be given away per week. And I don't even know where to begin because there's just too many accounts, and pretty much to the point where every single one of you who start right now, the first maybe 300 people who sign up, will probably get an account. So like, share, subscribe, use FPT on the website, code WChampFX. See you in the next video, champ out. Peace.